Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of You, Me, and He, a podcast that doesn't shake hands. A podcast got a hug.
Wait. What is that from?
Just from Tommy Boy, dude.
Okay.
Been a long time since I've seen that movie, dude. Long time.
It wasn't a great one, but...
No, it wasn't a great one. You want to take that one over again, Rob?
No, dude, I'm good. I'm good. I got a streak going.
That's right,
so.
yeah, it's par for the course.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Anyways, hey, I'm your host, Rob Lambert, and I'm joined by my co-host.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
And Drew Carroll.
Beautiful. So good, dude. It was much clearer last week. I'll tell you that.
It was actually good to clear that up.
That's right. Hey, if you're listening to if you're listening to us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, then this probably doesn't seem like anything out of the normal. But we have a video option for this episode right now. So if you're watching us on video, what's up, suckers? If you're not watching us on video, this is horrible radio. I'm sorry. Anyways, fellas, let's get right down to it. Last week I talked to you about my Wrestlemania predictions. Well, I attempted to talk to you about my Wrestlemania predictions.
You attempted.
And
What were those? We didn't get to it.
Dude, I got one of two. I only got two out, but I got one of two right. Hulk Hogan did not show up, but Ronda Rousey did put Triple H in an armbar, and it was glorious.
Who's Triple H?
Dang it, dude.
Who's Ronda Rousey?
Dang it. Whatever. But here's what I'll say. Okay. There was one match in particular that was on the card. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke, the artist.
Okay.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
Anyways,
artist.
The artist. It's like a Prince, Michael Jackson thing. I don't know. He just kicks people.
But he's
a
a
lot.
wrestler.
Yeah.
And he looks like a cross between Prince and Michael Jackson.
I would say so.
This is why I gave up watching wrestling and why I never started, actually.
Dude, his entrance is amazing, dude. There was
Gosh,
like
man.
5 drummers and like people playing the violin. It was amazing. It was so good. But this was like a dream match that people have been waiting for a long time.
Next time you watch WrestleMania, dude, there's going to be someone riding in on My Little Pony.
There won't be a next time.
Dude, there's a
No. I say next time. There won't be a time.
There's a group of guys called the New Day who actually sometimes ride in on a unicorn, so you're not too far off.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
beautiful. It's so
dude.
good.
Why wouldn't
Come
they?
on.
Why wouldn't
When
they?
you have no context for it, it sounds ridiculous, but when you're watching it, it's amazing. So anyway, there's this dream match between these two guys, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. The match itself was kind of but towards the end, okay, match ends. And if you haven't seen it yet, spoilers, in about 10 seconds, I'm going to talk about the ending. So fast forward like 30 seconds if you don't
Sounds
want
like a slap fight to me.
But
Just like just waving hands, just
You think it's that brutal?
So the match ends, okay? AJ Styles pins Shinsuke Nakamura, and they're showing respect to each other in the ring. It's one of those moments where there's a little bit of like a standoff.
and by pin we mean he, sat on his face.
Dang it, dude. So
Yeah. Hey, I took the pleasure of removing all the chairs in this place, so the only place that you would sit is my face.
It's all good. It's all good though, because after the fight they went to a drag brunch.
All good.
anyways, so Shinsuke is showing some respect to AJ Styles, okay? He kind of kneels before him and offers him the belt. AJ takes it. He raises it up. Everybody's clapping. Suddenly, Nakamura, just low blow, dude. Just a punch right to AJ's danger zone. It was beautiful. It was so good. And I'm pretty sure he was pretty close to the edge because the intensity was high. But all I have to say, dude, is here's the deal. If this was the UFC, Shinsuke would be he would be suspended. You probably wouldn't see him anymore. But because he low-blowed AJ Styles, I want to watch on Monday. Wait, that sounded weird. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
because he gave a low blow.
you are treading awfully close to the danger zone right now.
Because he gave a low blow to AJ Styles. I want to watch Monday because the story now is going to progress. And
Okay, but it wasn't a real hit. So it was
Dude.
more of like a light tap.
It looked
like a...
That's how they do pants.
Yeah.
in prison. Anyways, all I have to say is give WrestleMania a chance. I think you guys will love it.
No,
I
I'm
don't
good.
think I will, man.
No.
As soon as I saw that hit, it was just the danger zone.
That wasn't
just
a
Kenny
hit.
Loggins.
It was a cup.
Is
Not
that the new
even
Kenny
close.
Loggins? You
Yeah,
just Kenny
there you
Loggins him? Gave him the Loggins?
Whatever.
Yeah, dude.
Anyways, Josh, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I read this really, really odd article this week. It was quite surprising, but nothing should surprise us anymore. So I don't know if you guys know this, but we have officially crossed lines from millennial to the next generation. It's called
Like Star Trek.
Generation Z,
Oh, okay.
and they're called boomlets. So anyone who's currently like in high school is no longer a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are now Generation Z. They're
Millennials
boomlets.
are on their way out. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
real quick.
okay.
Technically, we're millennials. We're on the front end of it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're on the backside of Generation X.
I'm literally 2 years removed from Generation X.
Okay, so where's Y?
That millennial and Generation Y are the same thing.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, Gen X, Gen Y, Millennial, Gen Z, boomlets. Like, I don't get to name the
Boomlets?
generations. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Like
just the way that it goes.
Mini boomers.
Yeah, because apparently our generation's having kids like the 1940s or 50s had kids or something.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway,
think about
we're getting
you
way
and
off
your
topic
We
here.
digress. Move on, or I'm going to hit you in the
Anyway.
danger zone.
Yeah, so I mean, much like how it was for us between Gen X and Millennial, there's going to be this like little bit of crossing over for the really young millennials into Gen Z. So I know our generation takes a lot of hits for chowing down on Tide Pods. I've never gotten this. It doesn't make any sense to me. Whatever. But Gen Z has now taken it to a whole nother level.
Dude, they got to one up
What
each
are
other,
they
bro.
eating?
Yeah.
What are they eating?
It's not what they're eating. They're literally snorting condoms through their nose, down the backside of their throat, and pulling it out of their mouth.
Well,
Like-
it is lubricated.
Snorting condoms, man. Like, the future does not look good for America right now. I mean, it
No,
looks
no.
absolutely horrendous. It looks so bad. It's like, come on, seriously? Like, we go from what was our thing for our generation? I don't even know.
Dude,
But-
we did a lot of stuff.
We rode mattresses down the road at 70 miles an hour,
We
dragging them
crapped in
behind a car.
boxes and
Crap
put it
boxing.
out
Yeah,
like
crap
it was
boxing.
a
Crap boxing was
present.
We'll have
fun.
to talk about that at
You
some
know?
point.
Yeah, dude.
But that is our generation's cow tipping. I don't know how you go from cow tipping to snorting condoms.
dude, maybe everyone. maybe
That
it's
doesn't. That doesn't fit. That doesn't work.
You cow tip in a group. You snort condoms in the privacy of your own home, and that's weird.
Dude, well, in our time, we didn't really have the internet wasn't great, and
Right.
so we didn't have everything at our fingertips. So we had to go out and make things happen. They've already seen everything, dude. You know what they haven't seen? Someone else snort a condom.
Oh, dude. Okay, so it was funny. I mean, there's actually a YouTube clip of someone trying to snort a condom. It's hilarious, dude. It's just on the ground. It's almost, I mean, on a table. It's like doing a line of cocaine is what they're trying to do, basically. And they're just like, they get down on it and they just cover one nostril and they just inhale it. But between every single like inhale, dude, they're going,
dude, you know what, man? Like, at least our generation,
it's like, seriously, what are you doing?
you do a drug and you're like, yeah, that's terrible, but at least you're getting something out of it, When you snort a condom, you're just like, oh my gosh, my nose is so raw, and I'm not even lit.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I think
what
it's-
a rush.
I think it's
Some people know
stuck
what
there
that's
in my sinus cavity.
Dude, wouldn't it blow up? Like,
Oh, dude.
Oh,
wouldn't
that could
it
be
like?
bad.
Can you imagine
expi-
being in
Yeah.
the ER and having to explain that?
Oh, dude,
Like, I
dumb.
got some pressure right here.
Yeah, yeah.
and,
Oh, that's ridiculous, dude.
I don't think we can degrade anymore as a society, man. I'm starting to feel like 1984 is becoming a reality. People are literally getting dumber.
Yeah, but George Orwell never talked about this.
Yeah, the last chapter, snorting condoms.
I didn't get to that. It's in the epilogue.
It was the hidden chapter.
There you go.
That's what it was.
So
yeah.
So is the goal to take it up in and then be able to pull it out of your mouth?
Yeah, like growing up, did you
Oh.
ever see anyone like that may have had like a tongue piercing or whatever, and then like a chain through the back of their throat and like attached to their nose or something?
No.
Seriously? Oh man.
I've seen people do like the spaghetti or something.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
I've seen people do it with spaghetti. I've seen people do it with like really really thin necklace chains. But
With
now they're
a
doing the same
chain?
thing. Yeah,
That's what we did.
with
There it is.
condoms.
See, we
The
were
chain?
hardcore, dude. We would
Like-
take metal
No,
and take it up through the sinus.
I
These
saw
are-
people do that a couple times, dude. It's super weird.
It really is.
That's-
It
why
really
would you
is.
try that? Why would I have never sat, dude? I grew up out in the country. We all did in this small town. And I never was like, I wonder if I could snort this necklace and make it come out my nose.
I always wanted to. I mean, I thought it'd be a trick.
Dude, that
you know,
would feel
just like
terrible. That would be the worst. Oh,
Well,
Anyway.
I saw a meme on Facebook that I thought was awesome. It was like a dude with the condom coming into his nose, coming out of his mouth, and it was like, yeah, their parents didn't know how to use them either, and I just thought that was like so good.
dude. Yeah. Oh man,
that was pretty good.
that's rough.
Anyway, so yeah, that was my week, man. I mean, there was literally nothing else going on. I worked a lot, so I had to try and find ways to occupy my time in between doing work, and
There's
that's what
plenty of
that's
that.
what I came across.
Plenty of that on the
Snorting
internet.
condoms.
There you go.
You know, I mean, we're all married men here. You know, maybe it's something you can do with your wife later on or something.
Oh
you know?
my gosh.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't want to see her do that.
I'm good.
No.
As Josh would say,
No?
pass.
No? Hard pass.
Yeah,
Hard
dude.
pass.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, just thought you guys think that was interesting.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Right on.
So Drew.
Yeah, what's up, guys? What's happening? Why are you guys laughing at me right now? So, I'm going to filibuster for the next 7 minutes.
I'm literally going to read you the lyrics to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Yes, this is Donald Trump's inauguration speech. Enjoy.
That'll be a very good use of our time, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, just the worst. Dude, I had a pretty...
Not even a close call, like on the highway going to work or anything
There's
like that?
always a close call, dude, but I can't tell a story about every single time I have a close call. Yeah,
Okay.
sure, I had one on the way here. Actually, I had one where I wasn't really sure about it for about 5 minutes until it cooled down. So, but I really don't have much to say about that.
Wait, were you the guy that was on ABC 30 this morning? It was a video of a guy in a car head towards Sacramento, and some motorcyclist was like banging on the window, and you just like rammed the side of the motorcyclist and sent him across the road.
Dude, it sounds like something I want to do most of the time. Dude, driving on the road is the worst, man. It's the absolute worst.
I hate it.
Yeah, no,
Especially California roads.
Yeah, it's been
I'm sure you love it, right, Rob?
Oh, yeah.
You came in from
You miss
Sacramento
it?
this week.
Yeah, I drove 2.5 hours from Sacramento to the Fresno area, and it was the longest 2.5 hours of my life. It was horrible.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It seems like drivers in that area are even worse, too.
Oh, it's bad,
than
man.
Down here.
I can't believe I actually survived living in that area for like 2 years. It was terrible.
And with grandma.
Yep.
Thanks. Speaking of embarrassing moments.
No, hey, speaking of roads.
Yeah.
There it goes.
There it is.
There it is.
There's the segue.
And take it. Okay. So, as many of our listeners know, and maybe some of them don't know, we all used to be in a band together. It was like 5 or 6 years, right?
Oh, yeah. It was wild, dude. I'd say 5 years.
Wait, how
Yeah.
the amount of time we were in a band together?
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's correct, but
Okay,
No,
cool.
no. I would say that it is because I was about 22 when we started, and I started work by the time he left was...
when did you start at PG&E? When you were
It's good radio.
27?
It's great radio.
Oh, yeah. No, never mind. We'll just have to cut this piece.
It was like 15 years that we were in
It was
a
like
band
15
together. It was
years.
great. So anyway, with that time comes a lot of awesome moments, a lot of embarrassing moments, a lot of moments that maybe we're not as proud of that just happen when you're on the road with some dudes. And so tonight, that's what we're going to share. We want to talk about some road stories. And guys, we're just going to get confessional tonight. It's okay.
That's right. Let's do it.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
I dare you.
I'll go.
Well, you didn't have a banter topic, so you should go.
Yeah. This is a continuation of my banter topic. Okay, so, dude, you guys remember when we used to play the Motocross Nationals in Sacramento?
Yes.
Okay. And
Some of my favorite photos are from that show.
Yes. Now, do you remember the time that we played and we did a little
Drinking the night before?
drinking the night before?
I do remember. I think some of the photos actually still smell like alcohol, too.
I could imagine, dude. I still taste it. It's terrible. So we did a lot of drinking. Big hangover the next day.
I just want to clarify, I did no drinking at that point.
No, you did. You did not.
I was
You
the
did
one
not.
helping clean up
Yeah.
certain things that happened.
You took care of us, Rob. You took good care of us. Anyway.
No, he didn't. He stayed away from us.
This freaking dude was crying at one point, and I was holding him.
We were all crying at one point.
Josh smacked me in the face.
Good.
Anyways, so this is after that.
Okay.
Okay, so we go to the show the next day, dude. And you guys know I always kind of had an issue with, my nerves before shows.
Oh,
anyways.
dude.
I would always
Yes.
go and, find a quiet place to puke before the show, right?
You had to
Get
have
the
that
nerves out.
pre-show puke, dude.
Yeah, dude. So,
It's like rock stars, man.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
yeah, dude. And then you get up
You
there and
were
there's...
Mark Wahlberg. Like,
Yeah. And then you get up there on the stage and you look out into the 7 people and you're like, oh, it's not so bad. So we get up there, dude, and actually the motocross national shows were pretty big. And I remember the whole time I was like, oh, man, I don't feel so good. And I wasn't able to puke, dude. Well, then it was showtime.
Mm-hmm.
And I get up there and I'm like, oh, no, it's coming. And I'm up on the riser, dude. And so I just spin around on my drum seat. And I was like, right off the back of the stage. And this guy looks up at me that was on the back with these big old eyes. And he was like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, dude. a long night, man. Sorry. And I had Wendy's right before I came over here.
Oh, nasty, dude.
So that was one of those moments, dude. Luckily, you know, I don't think too many people noticed it, you know, but that was one of those moments where I could, you know.
Dude, I don't even think that I knew about it until afterwards.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It was brutal.
Did it happen
dude.
like in between a song, or was it during a song, or when, dude? Do you remember?
It was right before we started playing. We hadn't even started playing yet. Dude, and then there was another one. We were playing.
He's got the bubble guts right as you got up
Oh
there.
yeah, except it went the other way. Yeah. I could handle it for the rest of the show if it went south.
Oh.
You know. At least it's locked into a tight position. You know?
Dude.
You'd have to get a new
when it's
drum
going
stool after
north,
that.
yeah.
New
I'd
drum
be up
stool.
there going, what is that smell?
Oh yeah. But then there was the time that we played at that church in Fresno.
Way to follow up.
Yes, dude. And I remember like
Is it the one that was off Herndon?
No. This one was like kind of downtown.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah, it was one of the last ones, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
And we were probably 2 or 3 songs in, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to puke. And I remember grabbing my sweater from off the ground and puking into my sweater. And then I just folded it in half and said it right there.
What's
and
your
then
deal?
I'm pretty sure I left it.
For somebody else to find. That's awesome.
I probably would have also.
Dang, dude.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it used to be a big deal, dude. I used to like have to minutes, if not seconds before a show, have to find a quiet place to puke. I bet you this is why intros became such a big deal, right?
For sure.
There's a 7-minute intro, dude. Take your time.
Let's all go barf. Let's all go puke together. and
We're
then-
good. We'll even rotate this.
Yeah.
Well, we're all good.
It's been a long time. It hasn't happened in a long time.
Good.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet, dude. You're growing. You're growing as an individual.
It's probably a good thing that you just threw up, man, because, I mean, if it had been like, you know, Spinal Tap, you would have just spontaneously.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone else would be sitting here right now.
We need to get a new Drew. Sweet. All right. Well, okay. So I remember for my road story is one of the moments where I thought that Josh was going to kill me.
Really?
Do you remember this?
No, dude.
You don't remember this?
No,
Okay.
I saw in prep. I saw what you had written down, and I was like, dude, I'm trying to remember what happened with this.
I don't remember where we were going. I remember we were driving through Merced, and I think it was in the evening. And somebody else was driving. You and I, we were in the Suburban. Okay, you and I were in the middle seat.
All right.
And it was one of those times when we're driving down the road and we've grabbed a couple of Little Caesars that we're passing all through the Suburban. I think we got like a 2-liter of Mountain Dew that we were passing from person to person. Not sanitary at all. Like we probably all have some sort of disease. But anyway.
Speaking of road stories.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So what I remember is I'm sitting next to you. You're on your MacBook doing something. I don't remember what you were doing. You're probably working through some sort of I don't know, like a track or something like that. But anyway, I have the 2-liter of Mountain Dew. I'm taking a big swig of it, and then whoever's driving, we hit a bump or something, and the entire 2-liter just like goes like this, but it kind of whips. Like as it falls, I go to grab it and I whip it backwards, and so all this Mountain Dew just flies across the Suburban, goes all over Josh, goes all over his MacBook, also flies on the window behind me. And what was awesome, and if you're watching the video right now, if you're not watching the video, if you're listening to the audio version, I'm sorry because you're not going to get this. Yeah. But Josh just had that look that he gets when you know that he's like kind of contemplating if he's going to kill you. It's just like one of these right here where he's like, he just looks over at me and I'm just like, dude,
the death stare.
I am so sorry. And I just remember his face was like, that's all right. That's all right.
Dude, and in his
I
mind,
don't remember this at all.
Oh,
in
dude.
his mind, it's probably just the fastest clips of him killing you every way he can think of.
He's like, how many ways can I kill this guy in the car and have it be okay?
Yeah,
I'm going to
dude.
kill him with this Mountain Dew bottle, actually.
Yeah, dude. Hit by a car like Meet Joe Black. Boom, boom.
So luckily, I don't think there was any damage. I think it was
No.
okay. But, oh, man, it was just in that moment where I could see that Josh looked at me and he was like, I'm going to forgive you right now.
Well,
I could kill you.
I'm gonna at least suck in my emotions. I'll forgive you later.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna hold it in.
But dude, I mean, that's how it was, man. Just passing passing pizza in 2 liters all around the Suburban. And
Those were good times, though, man. Even if that happened, I mean, look, it turned out to be a good story now, which is awesome. I still don't remember even as you're talking about it. I don't
Awesome,
remember
great.
it. But what?
We should debate on that.
What do you mean, dude?
Whether or not it was a good story.
Oh, okay, all right, I got you.
Dude, I was telling the story about how Josh cared for me. He could have killed me in that moment, but he loved me instead.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, bromance.
There you go. See,
Da-
there you
Danger
go.
Zone.
Episode 16.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's no.
I was gonna say always in forever, but Danger Zone's dirtier.
Dude, I just feel like he looked at me and he said, "My heart will go on." And I was like, "All right, I'm good. I'm good.
right.
I love you." Anyway, all right, Josh.
Oh, speaking of wanting to kill people, man. So there was the story that I decided to come up with was one that will live in infamy. I mean, everyone's going to remember this story because
So good.
everyone laughed their butts off for hours on end while I just sulked in the tragedy of what had just happened. So I don't remember where we were playing. Were we playing?
Wasco.
It was Wasco.
Grandma's church in Wasco.
Another church, man.
Dude,
that
why'd
we're
you?
playing
No, we were playing this big festival in Wasco. Don't
Yeah.
say Grandma's church, man.
Aftershock
Grandma's
Festival.
Yeah, there you go.
2005. Even
South
though I
by-
wasn't around for.
I think it was South by Southwest Wasco.
Yes. South by Southwest Waco.
Yeah.
It's the Waco. You guys are setting up at the Waco station.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, we're playing for this group, man, and despite where it was we were playing, it was actually a pretty decent show. There was a decent turnout. I'd say there were probably more than 30 people there. So like when you're first starting out, that ain't too shabby, in my opinion. Okay, but what was really shabby is how the show just stopped midway through.
We had to
Because
take
of-
an intermission.
Yeah, it was because of my fault.
Forced intermission. Yes.
Forced intermission.
Awkward.
No choice. And I literally had one of those moments where I just took the breath away from everybody. I mean, for a split second, everyone's breath was taken away. And nobody in the audience felt like they could laugh until my fellow bandmates broke the silence, stopping what they were doing and just burst out in laughter.
Oh
Dude.
man.
So these two are going to know this. I take great pride in the equipment that I buy.
Yeah.
Okay, but this piece of equipment, this is what makes the story even sweeter, was the one piece of equipment I didn't even purchase. This was a tin top PRS Custom 22 built in 2005.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely phenomenal. It had a natural finish on the back. It had an aquamarine, like, blue color up front. I mean, just gorgeous.
I can still see
Mahogany
it, dude.
fretboard.
I can still see
Well,
it.
it's fixed, so it's playable, but it was just a gorgeous guitar. Anyway, when we were playing at this time, one of our big inspirations was
Story of the year.
Story of the Year. Story of the Year. We went and saw one concert, and these guys are phenomenal. They play on the same gear that I played on, or let me reverse that. I played on the same gear that they played on.
There it is. There it is.
And remember how awesome their show was, dude? They're
Oh,
like
dude.
jumping off their amps, but they're spinning their guitars around their bodies and everything.
Best, yeah.
Changed our lives forever.
So I
Yes.
mean, when I
Love that.
first like started teaching myself to do this, I had the crappiest guitar that I had. That's what I was using to like kind of get used to this, and I got really, really good. And so I started implementing this in my shows where I was like spinning my guitar around my body, and never had like one failure until this one show. I had the ultimate failure. We were friggin' rocking too. I mean, it was grooving and everything was going so well. And we were coming up on a break. I'm pretty sure the song was Soldier that we were playing
Yeah.
at the time. And we were coming up on a break, man. And we hit that break and I flung that guitar. Only problem was when I spun it around, I like bent over a little bit and my guitar literally goes flying off my body. And my strap gets caught in my hand, and I'm trying to save my guitar, but I caught it at the butt end, dude, and the neck, just like an axe, came swiping down and hit the ground and just split the neck, like in half. The only thing that was holding it together literally was the truss rod. That was it, the truss rod.
I remember this like it was yesterday.
Oh, man.
Just my heart, dude.
Dude.
I immediately just like I literally started crying on stage.
And I started
Andrew
laughing.
just started like laughing so hard.
Dude.
And then Rob didn't catch it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think he really caught it, what was going on, until he heard how out of tune it was, because I saw him look back at me and he had this like face of disgust. Like it sounded so bad. And there was nothing that could be done, dude. I have this, what was that? A $4,000 guitar probably?
Oh my gosh,
dude,
dude.
just split right at the neck. unplayable for the rest of the show for actually like a year and a half. I couldn't play it because I
Until you
just
found
couldn't
a
get
guy
to
at
fix
another show.
Yeah. So and that's what was kind of cool. I was kind of crazy about it then though, because we didn't know this guy. We went and played a show up in Shasta. Yeah. And this guy that we ran into came and saw our show, thought everything was going great. I had different PRS by this time, and offered to fix my guitar for me for $100. And he wasn't like a registered luthier, but I mean he was a carpenter. Like he was a registered carpenter. Said that he did guitars on the side and said that he could take care of it. Had no idea who this guy was. Didn't know him from Adam. $100. I left my $4,000 guitar with a guy that kept it for 6 months to fix it, wondering if I was ever going to get it back.
Yeah, dude.
Didn't know. Nice guy. He sent it back to me, so it's all good.
So
it worked out. It's playable too. I mean, it's in good condition, but that was my road story, dude. I ruined a $4,000 PRS Custom 22 tin top, and it's worth like $10 now because of the fracture.
I just remember, man, like I was playing and I saw you do it, and I didn't see the guitar go flying. What it was is the people in the front row, I saw their face change, and I was like, what did we do? Like they're either like really excited or something horrible happened. And then I heard the guitar play, and I was like, okay, that sounds way worse than usual. So I turned. So I just remember turning and just seeing you holding it, dude, and I was like, oh, man.
Dude, I literally cried the rest of the show. I didn't even finish.
That's probably that's probably the one time that I laughed uncontrollably in the middle of a set.
Oh, dude.
The song just stopped. You know what was really funny? Now that I look back on it, is Andrew saw it happen the whole time. I literally couldn't play anymore because my neck was broken. It was being held together by the truss rod and the strings. Rob didn't. I mean, he saw it because he turned around, but I'm pretty sure Arturo was just on the other side of the stage just rocking his bass.
Oh, yeah.
Just back and forth.
He was probably the only one still playing.
Yeah, I don't even think he paid attention to what the rest of us were doing, dude.
Bass solo.
It's like, finally, they gave me a bass solo. All right. Dang.
Yeah, dude, I remember that one, man.
Yeah.
It was bad. Oh, it was bad. That was my road story. So.
Yeah, dude.
Well, hey, if you have a story that's just as tragic, no, that's going to be depressing.
If
you just want to hit us up on social media about something random, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Hey, you can find us on Twitter at youmehepodcast or Instagram at youmehepodcast as well. And speaking of keeping the conversation going, tonight we have a listener question from Mr. Tyler Cook via Facebook, and this is what he says. If you could go back in time and fix your most embarrassing moment, Josh, of your life, what would it be, and how would you fix it? Also, side question, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I think that's something we should talk about. So anyway, who wants to go first? Go back in time, change your most embarrassing moment. Also, where the heck is Carmen Sandiego?
Josh, what do you have?
So the most embarrassing moment I could even think of, I think we've all been here before, man. Young love, right?
Okay.
Like,
oh yeah,
like one of your first crushes or whatever. One of my first crushes that I remember, dude, was it wasn't too long after we moved to Chowchilla, and there was a girl in town that like I had a crush on for like quite a long time.
Is this a country song we're getting into right now?
Yeah. Well, I'm about ready to break into Taylor Swift. So.
Oh, okay, great. You had tears on your broken guitar.
Whom we all know is just a clone of the high priestess.
Dude, I might be a believer now after seeing the photo, baby.
Anyway, dude, so I remember us being at Vacation Bible School. Does anybody else remember Vacation Bible School when they were younger? Yeah, VBS.
Yes.
Yeah, good times, right? And I remember telling one of my good friends that I had a crush on this girl, right? And all of us were in like the large area for like singing, and just dancing around, whatever the crap you do at VBS, whatever that is. I don't remember. Anyway, and dude, like as soon as like the song stopped, he's one of my best friends. He was actually a groomsman in my wedding. Just lets out, Josh, you like couldn't, and says her name, dude, like right in the middle of nothing, right in front of everyone. And I was just like, you have that moment where you freeze. The worst part, dude, is that she was literally right in front of me. She was in the seat in front of me, and she just turns around. And you have that moment where everyone is like literally looking at you and you don't know what to do, what to say, and you can tell she's not into you at all. All right.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it wasn't even that, man. I remember I was so embarrassed. I just everyone was standing up. I literally just sat down. If I could have ran out of there, I would have ran out of there. But that place was locked down like Fort Knox. Like there were adults everywhere. There was no running away. So if I could go back and fix that, I think what I would do is. After I tell my buddy what happens, I'd probably just punch him in the face real quick and knock him down.
Immediately.
Just knock him out.
Immediately.
So he can't even get to it. Because I mean, you gotta have stories between bros. I mean, that's just the way it goes. You gotta trust them. But yeah, I wouldn't take back telling him. I would tell him, and then I would punch him in the face and knock him out. Then he couldn't tell anyone.
Like preemptively.
Yeah, preemptively.
He wouldn't even know why, but
Yeah.
he'd be like, "You know
Exactly.
why."
Okay. When she turns around and you know that she's not into you and it's all quiet, embrace it and just let out one of those squeaky farts.
Yeah, because that's what everyone does at the age of 10, Andrew.
Yeah, then all of a sudden she likes you.
That changes things.
Maybe that's what I should have done. Maybe I should have punched her in the
Turn on.
face.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Turn on that Frankenstein charm.
Should have punched her in the face. Then she would have known that I really liked her, and it probably would have
my
turned her over.
That's hilarious.
ridiculous.
Anyway, that was probably one of the most embarrassing moments in my life.
Dude,
Yeah,
we've all
that's
had
awesome.
those moments with the ladies, for sure.
I
I remember.
Yes.
I'm not going to name any. Dude, I'm not going to name any names, but let's just say all I'm going to say is freshman year, high school barn dance. Girl tried to kiss me. Froze like a statue. Still remember? Feel like an idiot. Anyways.
That feeling doesn't go away.
Nah.
Ever.
No.
Ever.
Yeah. It was at the barn dance, too. It was just a conglomeration of a lot of rough things happening. I was like, I don't know what to do right now.
I was wearing Wranglers. I never wear Wranglers.
Yeah, for real.
I didn't know she was going to kiss me. I was just thinking about WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Thunder Rolls by Garth Brooks was happening, and I was just so lost in the moment. Anyways, Drew.
That's hilarious. I have a few that I could easily go back and redo.
I believe that.
Yes. It's been a long 32 years, let me tell you. So at the high school talent show, junior year? Was my junior year?
I remember this.
Yeah, I bet you do. At
I
the end
was
of the
there.
song, it was my time to shine,
Oh, yeah?
and I let it all out. My puke, that is.
You puked at the high school talent show?
You were
playing.
there.
No, I know I was playing, but I didn't see it.
Dude.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I stopped playing. You and Arturo kept going. I had puke all over my drums.
I remember sitting in the audience and seeing it happen and be like, oh my gosh, he's dying. And then a few years later, once we're in a band together, I'm like, he's fine.
Yeah. It's just a normal thing. I remember people
You know-
come up to me and they're like, "Are you okay? Are you sick? Do you have the flu? Are you dehydrated?" Like, no, it's just.
This is what happens.
I take that back. I'm going to change my most embarrassing moment. If I could go back and fix my most embarrassing moment, it's I wouldn't be a freshman in college going back to play a high school talent show.
Sure. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. Dang.
I
I didn't
agree
even
with
think
you
about that.
Hey, dude, you'll do anything for a little fame.
You're lucky I loved you.
That's so good.
Oh,
my
don't
God.
pretend like you did that for me.
My last hurrah going back. Screw you, Chow July.
Yeah, I mean, just kidding. Can I play? Am I eligible?
I'm doing it for these guys. These guys need a moment.
Yeah, dude. So I would probably it would be that one.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
I have another one, but no one ever knew about it until I decided to tell people. So I don't think I would go back and change that one.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay, great. Dude, I would say, dude, the talent show, from my perspective, it just looked like you were a rock star, dude. Like you finished. You played so hard that you just... That
Okay,
was the
dude.
finale. You're like, I'm going to puke on my drums.
Yeah,
This is how
okay.
metal I am right now.
The problem is
You don't even know, but Triple H, dude. That's what Triple H is.
no. The problem
Just
is
puke,
that some teachers assume that I was dehydrated,
Yeah.
and so a lot of my peers.
Was there an
if you will-
ambulance?
No.
Okay, I
No,
thought I
no,
remember there being an
no, no,
ambulance.
come,
man.
dude, come on, man. Come on. So they all were convinced that I was dehydrated, and that's why I did that. And so from that point on, I had probably 30 people calling me drink water. to remind me to drink water.
Okay,
So that I
that is the
wouldn't-
stupidest nickname, but
It
it's
really
hilarious.
is.
Sure, it's super
Hey,
dumb.
what's up, drink water?
Yeah. I almost thought it was dumber than me puking in front of 900 kids.
kids. That's right. Okay, I love it. It's beautiful. Dude, I remember when I was really young, man. I was in childcare, I think. And for some reason when I was a kid, I used to get bloody noses all the time. Like,
I still do.
it was bad
Had
news,
one
dude.
last
I
night.
remember this one that you got when we were younger. You were trying to do this bike stunt.
Okay, shut up, dude.
This might be the one you want to take back. You rode down this hill.
Can we clarify that this is actually like one of the first times that I met you
Yeah,
guys?
this is one of the very.
I think
this was the very first time we ever
Wait,
met
hang on,
Rob.
Wait, second grade? Andrew was what,
Third-
second
no,
grade?
fourth grade. Yeah. So
Yeah.
second grade, fourth grade.
grade.
I
Rob
in
was third grade.
Yeah. Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
we all used to live in the same neighborhood, just a couple houses down from each other, actually. And behind this neighborhood was this huge mound of dirt to use for leveling where they were building this housing development. It was like 10 feet high, and it was like flat at the top.
Whoa,
and we all
10
used to.
dude, 10
There was a
feet.
couple jumps.
It was
Yeah.
like 20 feet. This thing was huge.
No, it was like 10 feet.
I was in the third grade, so maybe I.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You guys. I was gonna say smaller than that.
Maybe
No.
it was. Maybe it was smaller than that, but yeah. Anyway, it was flat at the top, and everybody used to ride their bikes down the face of this thing because it like curved out from all the bike ramps and stuff. And there was this one little dirt clump that was like this little jump. You know, it was probably like 20 feet out in front from actually when you went down. Well, Rob didn't have a stunt bike. Rob had a mountain bike. And before he went down, my dad told him, hey, just remember, don't hit your front brakes when you get down there. Don't hit your front brakes when you get down there twice. Rob goes down this hill, hits the little jump, pulls up on his handlebars, hits the ground, hits his front brakes, and flies over his handlebars, face first into the ground, where he got one of his great bloody noses.
Yeah,
Like-
It was like if you've ever played Excite Bike on the NES when you crash.
Oh,
and
yes.
it's like, and the guy just rolls. It was totally like that. Dude,
But this isn't that story that you were talking about, right?
you know what? We'll just go with that one. Whatever, man.
No, I want to hear the other one. I
Dude,
already knew that one.
That mountain was huge. Okay.
yes.
And I think
Wait, did you just call it a mountain or a mound?
it was a mountain.
it was a
Yes.
mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I remember expressing my hesitance to ride down this, and you guys were like, "No, man, you got it. You got it." And I'm like, "I don't think this is a good
Hang
idea,
on.
guys."
After knowing us for a while,
Yeah, totally. You're probably going, "This is gonna be awesome." Just
everything's a good idea.
no, dude, your mountain bike, that's a perfect thing to use. I'm like,
Yeah. It's the best one. Yeah, that's what the pros use.
Oh my gosh.
All top heavy.
Yeah.
Hey, but I am curious. I want to know the other story.
Yeah,
Dude,
you
it's
gotta
not
tell
as
the other
epic as
story.
that one. That one is pretty awesome. This is I happen to be sitting at lunch with some friends eating a white bread sandwich. Nose starts bleeding. Don't even realize it. Bleeding into my sandwich. Just start eating it.
That's
Did
disgusting.
you taste it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then at that moment it was just like everybody looked at me and I was like, I'm so sorry that I'm here right now. I apologize
Did
to
you
all of you.
puke all over your drums?
No, dude. I just kind of put it down and I think I started crying.
Oh, come on. I didn't even cry. 900 kids, man.
Dude, you were in high school. I was like in the third grade, bro.
Yeah, that's worse, dude. People don't forget, man.
I think what I would have done now is I would have just looked at the sandwich and then just started wiping it on my face and just got like Crimson Mask style, dude, and just been like,
Should have gone all
start
Braveheart,
punching
dude.
kids.
Just
yeah,
like,
exactly. So it's like it's not embarrassing. I'm just a crazy guy. So
So again, if you could go back in time, you'd sit with younger you and just hang out.
I'm saying I would be me, and I would shut up, dude. Anyways, hey, if you have some embarrassing stories that you would like to, oh wait, hang on a second.
Carmen.
There was a
Where the
follow-up
heck is Carmen
question,
San
yeah,
Diego?
yeah.
Pardon me for moving on. I apologize. Where is she, fellas? Is this a conspiracy corner that we should have?
you know, we
waited
might have
for
to
it.
address in a conspiracy corner, but I believe Andrew had a theory.
in or on
Mm-hmm.
Biggie Smalls' butt.
Of course. Totally makes
With
sense.
Tupac and Elvis.
And the
With
king of
Tupac
rock and roll.
Elvis. I love it. So that tattoo idea that Mr. Caleb
Keeps
Abels was,
growing.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
Carmen San Diego
Gonna have
needs
to
to
add
be there,
Carmen
too.
San Diego to it now. Yeah.
It's just going to be a Biggie's butt with a bunch of people holding hands
In a
around
circle,
the
in a unity chain. We are the world.
Just a bunch of random characters. Dude.
Elvis, Carmen Sandiego,
Waldo? Oh, that's awesome.
Tupac.
Dude, somebody make it happen. Dang it.
We really need an artist out there. Come on.
Anyways, hey, so if you have an embarrassing story that you'd love to share, it's cathartic, dude. Just let it out. Share it with the world on social media. You won't be embarrassed anymore. On Twitter at youmehepodcast or Instagram at youmehepodcast. And so, fellas, as we come to the end of our time, in light of everything that we've talked about, what wisdom or insight would you give to a younger you? Let's take it to Socrates.
Being on the road is going to be one of the best experiences of your life, Josh. You're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. But don't for 1 second ever think that you should spin a PRS simply because you saw it in a live show one day because you're not sponsored by them.
Yeah, for real.
It's like taking $4,000 outside and just chucking it in the wind.
Wiping your butt with it.
Yeah. That's so good.
There's my Socrates.
Dude, I would go back and tell myself, before you play, eat something. Drink something. It'll make you feel better.
Will it?
Maybe not.
Dude, if you had an empty stomach.
Dude, I still don't eat before show. It would just be like a green, like...
Oh, so
mucus. It's just like mucus.
Here's the deal. Either way, something's coming out. You
yeah,
just might as well
you
load
just
it up.
force it, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I don't force it. It just, you know...
I think they call that a
forces
dry
it.
heave at that point. If you don't have anything in your stomach that you can actually throw up.
Yeah, it's just like this green, like...
Bile, dude.
acid...
bile. Yeah.
Yeah,
Science.
dude.
That's science. Science. You just learned something on this podcast.
Well, I didn't hear what you said, so I didn't. Let's keep going.
You're fine. Dude, I think that if I could go back, I would go back to 3rd grade. And I would walk up onto that like Everest of a mountain. And I would see myself there, and you guys would just be encouraging me to ride and do it. And I would just say, you know what, dude? Don't. You can't trust these guys yet. Maybe at some point.
Dude, that right there, that is like the foundation
It's true.
of our friendship.
Yeah,
so
that's
if you
where-
were to go back and change something like that, dude, there may not be
Butterfly,
a
dude.
podcast. It would just be me and he.
And trust me,
It'd be the butterfly effect, dude. Maybe Ashton Kutcher would be sitting here. Maybe we'd all be better off.
I don't think we'd all be better off if Ashton Kutcher was
definitely wouldn't. No,
Any room that
definitely.
Ashton Kutcher's in, you're not better off. Is
Yeah,
that what you're saying?
no, dude. Chalk him up there with Nick Cage.
Sounds like he should be on the backside of Biggie Smalls too.
yeah. Ashton Kutcher.
Just his face going, burn.
Burn.
Anyways. All right. Well, hey, with that, we just want to say thank you to everybody who's been listening and supporting the show. Make sure that you're going to Apple Podcasts or iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts and leaving us a review there. We really appreciate it. It really helps out the show. And until next time, I'm Rob Lambert.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
Also, Drew Carroll.
Hey, have a good night.